Hey, this is Brother Marquise on Fireback Radio. I am just, this is actually the first broadcast. It's going to be a short one. This is the first broadcast that I'm doing via video because I've had a lot of people ask, how come I can't see your face? Well, bam, there it is. Bam, there it is. This is what Brother Marquise looks like. Now you know. Okay, so bam. Okay, so today, and I'll probably continue to do these chats. Right now, I'm not in my own studio. I'm in the lovely Alicia studio. My studio looks a bit more, how can I say it? It looks more masculine. This right here looks, lovely, but not, it ain't my branding. But that's okay. We'll worry about that some other time. But I'm here. Gosh darn it. But I wanted to ask you something. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on the situation with Kyrie Irving? What are your thoughts? I see some people in the chat talking about it. What are y'all thinking about Kyrie Irving? I see people talking about the documentary and whatnot that he saw, that he mentioned, and it's called Hebrews to Negroes, and basically it was about the Jews who are in Israel, who proclaim to be Jews, are not original. If anything, they are ab-original. No, not Australian, but they are not original to the land. That goes to people of that complexion, believe it or not. And that's not me saying it. I actually believe that. Not because of the new documentary, but I've been hearing this over the years anyway. And there was a guy, I think he did a speech or something in Dubai. He was a Muslim gentleman, and he was talking about the land. And he said that the occupiers of the land, they don't have the proper DNA. And he said the DNA belonged to, and if you look at the history, there were people there and they got forcefully removed and then they were replaced. And it's almost like colonizers. Anytime colonizers come in, they brand everything theirs, and and next thing you know, you're kicked out. Everybody was caught up, enslaved, and all of that kind of scattered throughout the land. Biblical stuff. But yet we treat these people like they're original when they're not. So that's my understanding of the documentary, and that's actually my understanding of reality. So when I look at this whole and I'm talking about it, yeah. So I'm looking at this stuff with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie didn't say anything like, hey, you ought to go look, or I'm promoting this or whatever. He didn't do that. He didn't promote it like that. It was a mention. And his office, his master, didn't like it. And so now Kyrie is on the hot seat once again. And if you guys don't remember, Kyrie was on hot seat over the last couple of years because he didn't want to get the inoculation. Kyrie is a thinking man. So you might want to pay attention to Kyrie. He's a thinker. Remember thinkers? There used to be a lot more of us out here, but now because of the fear that was brought on to us during COVID, everybody has slipped into compliance. Nobody thinks and nobody thinks for themselves, and everybody's afraid to speak. To me right now, Kyrie is looking more like the Muhammad Ali of 2022. Because this man actually stands for something. Unbelievable. And then the backlash from this is freaking ridiculous. The backlash that I'm seeing from people like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, these guys you would think were tough guys. Well, guess what? Those guys folded over twice, like cheap toilet paper in a flushing toilet. They pumped out like little, well, you know what I'm saying. They punked out. And you guys are the wonderful example of coonery. And, when people say Uncle Tom, when you think Uncle Tom, you think about some stupid stuff. Using it in that sense, that's an Uncle Tom. That is one of them. Shaq and what's his name? Charles Barkley. You are out here trying to grab this man from leaving the plantation. You are the guy who would tell Massa that Kyrie trying to escape. That's who Shaquille is. That's who Barkley is. You see a free slave and you tell him, I'm gonna tell Massa. Because right now they're trying to kill Kyrie. They're trying to get him out of a job over there. And to see a big grown man like Barkley and Shaq, you would think that they have a better mindset to understand what's going on, but they don't. And I wonder what was told to them that made them fold like cheap toilet paper. Because surely, being a black man, you would have a moment of pause and at least, let's look at it. No, these guys would just shot Kyrie down like Kyrie was out there. Look, I've seen less from these people when you got athletes, men, calling themselves women. I've seen less outrage with that. And we know that's ridiculous. We've seen less outrage when a woman wants to take on a man in MMA fighting. We've seen less outrage when, Kyrie didn't do this, right? But we've seen less outrage when somebody shoots themselves in the thigh with a gun they're not supposed to have, right? We've seen less outrage with a player choking a coach. We've seen less outrage when a man fathers 1 billion kids out of wedlock. We've seen less outrage when somebody gambles themselves to death. You know what I'm saying? When the mob comes. We've seen less when somebody beats their wife. We've seen less outrage. And you guys, again, ought to be ashamed of yourselves for doing what you're doing to Kyrie. You guys are trying to keep Kyrie on the plantation. Instead of freeing yourselves from the plantation, you decided to bend over for master. That's what you look like. That's what you look like. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Down with the fear, man. Y'all got to stop pandering to fear and speak up. That's all I got for you today. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for you today, boys and girls. I'm going to drink me some water and all of that. It's Brother Marquise on Fireback Radio. Find us online at firebackradio.com. Talk to you later.